So voting is underway in all 275 constituencies across the country under the special voting exercise. JoyNews checks at some centers reveal polls opened early at a good number of the polling stations. Adherence to COVID protocols are also being enforced. Here's one voter from the Bono region expressing his disappointment, though, after being turned away for not wearing the face mask. What's the problem?
Yes, actually I was posted to vote here, but then I came around without a nose mask. So I've been asked to go and get one. Yes.
Well, there are also cases of some voters not finding their names in the voter register. Let's start off from the Bono East region, where my colleague Anas Sabit joins us live with more. Anas, tell us where you are, what you've observed so far. Hello, Anas. If you can hear me, tell us what you've been observing so far. Well, I'm afraid we do not have Anas Sabit on the line, but he will be joining us from the Bono East region. We do have colleague reporters across the 275 constituencies. In Accra, we know we have some 54 centers. In the Ashanti region, we've got 48. In the Eastern, there are 34 centers. In the Central region, 26. Volta region, 21. Western, 19. The Northern also has 18 centers. Upper East, 16. Bono, 13, as well as the Bono East region, which also has some 13 centers. Upper West has got 12, Western North 9, Oti 8, Ahafo has got 7. The Savannah region also has 7 centers, and the Northeast region has also got 6. So there are 109,557 persons from various security agencies. There are some media men and women in there, as well as staff of the Electoral Commission. So there were issues with the media list, though, but the Electoral Commission chair has indicated that there will be a preferential treatment with accreditation cards of the Electoral Commission on December 7th. So if you're part of the special voting, or if you're expected to vote today, but your name could not appear, you could vote on December 7th, and you would have special treatment on Election Day, December 7th. Let's get on the phone lines again. Let's go to Martina Bugri. Martina, tell us where you are and what can you report? Hello, Martina?
Yes.
Yes, Martina, you're on air. Tell us where you are. What can you report?
I am currently at the Kalpohini Senior High School, where the Tamale North constituency, they are having their voting. Earlier on, I was at the Tamale South constituency, and they are having their own at the Tamale Metro EC office. Voting was underway. Everything was smooth. They didn't have any challenge. The only issue was people who came in without face masks were turned away. And we had about 3 people. I observed about 3 people come in and they were turned away because they didn't have a face mask. At the Tamale South constituency, they have 231 people on that register. And at the time I was leaving, over 60 people had registered. I'm currently Tamale North constituency, and their voting is taking place at the Kalpohini Senior High School. Since I came in, I have noticed that they are observing the COVID-19 protocols. They also turned away one person who didn't have a face mask and had come in to vote. Unfortunately, she even checked and her name was not there. We have had 2 people in this constituency who have come and they have not found their names. In all, 244 people have registered here, and so far, 72 have already voted.
Okay, Martina. So, Martina, is there Is there an option? So if you're not in your mask, you just turn away?
What they would ask you to do is you go and look for a mask and come, or if you have a handkerchief, you are allowed to use that to cover your nose and your mouth and then to come. At the Tamale South constituency, a woman was made to use her hair gear to tie her nose and her mask and their face and was allowed to vote.
Okay, but have you seen any of those turned away return in a mask to vote?
The lady at Kapohini Senior High School, she was turned away. Fortunately, she had a handkerchief, and she used it to tie the face, and then she came back. She was allowed to check her name, but unfortunately, her name was not on the list.
All right, Martina, we'll leave it here. I know that you'll be visiting a lot more centers, so I'll let you go so you can do just that. Let's cross over and go to Bono East, where my colleague Anas Sabit is standing by. Anas, where exactly are you and what can you report? Anas, where exactly are you? What can you report?
Mama, I'm back to the Kitman South constituency, where there are two polling stations here. Because of the larger number of voters on the list, over 1,200 voters captured in the Kitman South constituency. Polling station A, like I reported earlier, had 634, and the B had 633. The exercise has been largely smooth. I moved to the Kitman North constituency, where we have only 234 persons expected to cast their ballot. And as at 9:15, when I left the grounds, there were 45 persons who have been able to ballot. With the person there, Madam Grace, as are telling me all protocols are being strictly observed there with some agents, the agents of the parties, also NGC, NPP, and the PNC, all present at the Kitman North constituency to monitor the exercise. The rest of the parties had no agents there. That is the situation. And here in the Kitman South, PNC, NGC, NPP, GUM, and then CPP all here to monitor the situation with their agents here also.
And Anas, also tell us about the security situation there.
Security is very tight, I must say. The year at the Kitman, the South, the exercise is ongoing at the premises of the District Police Command. So a lot of police officers are already on the ground, and because they are also part of the exercise, every now and then you find them in the queue. And so that, according to the EC, means they do not have any sort of worry at all so far as security is concerned here.
Anas, we'll leave it here. That's my colleague Anas Sabit reporting from the Bono East region. We've got a lot of other reporters that we'll be touching base with in this hour's bulletin. But the head of our political desk, Evan Spencer, joins me. We're just going to be following up on the issue of the no wearing of mask, no voting policy that's been enforced on the ground.
Early morning, I knew this was going to be an issue today, and it's turning out that it's definitely going to be an issue in the elections. And
okay, Evans, just hold on a bit. We will continue with this conversation, but let's go to Kumasi. Erastus Asari Donko is joining us with some updates. Erastus, tell us where you are. What is the update?
Well, currently we've moved to the Yenyaoso Presby Church, where the Mensia North constituency special voting is taking place. Now, 365 people are expected to vote here. Currently, we have about 65 voting so far. 6 people did not find their names, and with these 6 people, 3 of them are police men, and 3 of them are civilians who could not find their names in the register, and but they found it in the main register to come on December 7th, and so they've been asked to go and vote come December 7th. Early on, we went to Aswansi constituency. Pakoso is the polling station, and there we are expecting 125 people to vote. As at about 9 a.m., we had about 28 people voting in that area. I must say that voting has been very smooth so far. Turnout has been good. and the authorities are expecting that they will get a full turnout by 1 p.m. today.
Erastus, have you also observed the no wearing of face mask, no voting policy that's been enforced?
I must say that the COVID-19 observance of the COVID-19 protocols is very, very high in all the places we have been. In fact, when we went to Aswase constituency, it's compulsory, and all the officers who came in there to vote were wearing nose masks. They've marked white lines on the ground to indicate the social distancing protocol, and there are officers who are there to ensure that people follow how they have been distanced in that manner. There's an EC official who is holding the thermometer gun and takes your temperature. You wash your hands before you enter and all that. After the process, you're given hand sanitizers to rub on your hands. So I must say that in all the places we've gone, all persons who have been to the voting sites are wearing nose masks.
Well, interesting. Erastus is reporting from the Ashanti region. We'll leave it here. Erastus Asari Donko. And Evans, we're just about talking about the no wearing of mask, no voting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Erastus just confirmed that in his place, he's seen places where people are voting without it.
No.
Okay, so again,
that hasn't happened.
So they are turning you away, or people are in their mask in their numbers.
Exactly.
Which is what my point was when you just asked me this. My surprise today is that people can actually turn up at the polling centers without face mask because it's a special voting. Also because the people who are voting today are largely security agencies and state agencies who we know have made provisions for their people, their staff already when it comes to face masks. And so I'm pretty surprised that even for special voting, we are having this particular situation. Journalists also are part of special voting, and anybody else who has a special duty. You expect this group they should either afford face masks or the institution should buy it for them. So if it's an issue today, then you can imagine what the issue will be on election day when you open it up to 17 million registered voters. But the substantive matter that had come up, which has been an issue all morning, is whether the Electoral Commission has a legal authority to turn you away when you turn out to vote, to exercise your constitutional right. I must say from the onset that please ensure that before you get to a polling center, you have your face mask on. I mean, that is a basic COVID-19 protocol that you should pay attention to and must endeavor to adhere to. However, having said that, we are in a country of laws. We are governed by the Constitution. And so to do this, you have to have a certain basis for it. Something my colleague has this morning been digging up into this matter legally. And he sent us some guidance on this. And because I asked him, I mean, how can the EC make this legal, right? And he says to me that controversially, the EC cannot prevent you from voting once you satisfy the qualifications in Article 42 and you are registered to vote. We've heard the EC say, go, get it, and return, right? But go, get it, and return for some people could mean, go, I can't get it. Can I return?
I'm not coming back.
You know, can I return? And if I still come back and I say, I simply can't get it because I can't afford it, does the EC then say, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to allow you to vote? Something has also pulled up for us a precedent in this matter. He said the Supreme Court held in the famous Ranford France case that the EC and everybody, and the EC has quoted this quite a lot, Abu Ramadan case, that one cannot be deprived of his constitutional right to vote, and that anything the state does must, and he puts this in capitals, facilitate that right and not negatively affect it by depriving the vote. I made the point in the morning, this particular precedent means then that the state should facilitate the provision of face mask. If the state determines that no face mask, you cannot queue to vote, then the state must provide it, so I must have it to vote for those who can't have it. I mean, that, for me, going forward tonight, we need to get some clarity on this. it's such an important matter
Yes.
because it sort of revolves around people's fundamental right to vote, but also balancing that with our collective health rights as well. Because if you are not wearing it, you possibly then exposing me to health risks, right? But that must be balanced. Which one? But let's say should be able to afford getting face mask. I mean, well, I don't know whether they can because there's 17 million people. I mean, not everybody will come without it, but the few who come should have something.
Yeah. Well, we'll try and follow up on this matter with the Electoral Commission.